Welcome to the LongBox Paradox, episode 31. I got 3 curated picks this week, and we're going to start out right away with Image Comics, Reaper number 1. Interesting issue. Justin Jordan is the writer on it. I've read some of his other works. The thing that attracted me most to this book was the Becky Cloonan cover, which is just fantastic, of the character Rael. Pronunciation's a little off. The book starts out with these 2 knights, and they're in the middle of a war, and it's not going their way. And as it's going on, what they thought was someone on their side, Essen the Breaker, goes nuts and ends up slaughtering most of their troops, including the Esk's friend. And from there, we jump to the Esk is in prison, and he is then being visited in his cell. He's trying to hang himself, and stops and is basically offered a chance to die with a little bit more glory instead of, as they say, with britches full of piss. Then go on to meet the Styrian. Basically, they're building a suicide squad, this group, to go basically die doing this mission. They will die. We also meet Rael, who bit off the cock of one of the guards. She's chained up, also has good ears. You see she has this giant mouth of fangs. And then the 4th member of their group is Essen the Breaker. This is a kind of a tough issue to jump into because, you're setting up what's to come. It started out a bit slow. This is one of those story builder type issues. Not your common fare for an issue 1, but if you're looking for a ton happening, there's not a lot in this issue, but it starts picking up near the end. Some nice set pieces. I want to say the artist is Rebecca Isaacs. I don't have it in front of me. I'm gonna give this a 7. It wasn't the best first issue, but I think it sets up enough of what's to come that I am going to go back to it and pick up issue 2. The other thing was, as of last night, issues were starting to sell on eBay for up to 13 as a high. There was also One Stop Comics had a numbered to 500 variant for $14.99, so it's something to look into for speculation's sake. Just remember how that Virgin variant kind of heated up after 2 or 3 months of the book being out. Just something to think about. I definitely am going to pick up again. I'd recommend this as a pickup. Just know that it's a slow issue. I'm going to move on to next from DC Comics, Event Leviathan number 2. The issue starts with Jason Todd, Red Hood, on the building investigating one of the Leviathan attack sites, and Batman comes behind him, and they start comparing notes and talking about who's been targeted, why they'd be targeted. And they start talking about the different detectives. Like, the Question has been sitting in Sam Lane, his hospital room, and outside the room, a character appears and attacks the guards and goes in the room, starts tussling with the Question, and Sam Lane shoots him dead. We find out that the name of this character was Caleb Essen, I think was the name, and he was an Argus agent now working for Leviathan. And then it jumps from that to Plastic Man investigating the body, and Leviathan teleports in and seems to know everything there is to know about Plastic Man. And it seems like he's trying to woo him to his side. He teleports away with the body. And Batman talks about how he's gathered up all these detectives to try and figure out who Leviathan is. And Jason Todd's like, well, who do you think it is? It could be this person, this person. And all of a sudden we see the Bat family and others come out, and they basically try to take Jason down and explain, like, Plastic Man had gotten a piece of Leviathan's armor he managed to snake away. And Batman, they comment how, it looked like something Batman designed. And Damian, of course, has always thought something was up with Jason, something was wrong, something was broken. And Manhunter says nothing. Very interesting. It was a good issue. Kept the intrigue up. Kept you involved. And kind of trying to piece together everything. And Batman saying, I expect another terrorist attack by morning. Something bigger, something grander. Again, Leviathan mentions starting a new world. Really, really solid issue. Again, Bendis and Maleev give you a book that keeps you interested, keeps you guessing of who Leviathan is, puts the breadcrumbs out. There's misdirects. Actually, there's constant misdirects when it comes to who Leviathan is, because he could be Steve Trevor, it could be this person, it could be that person. I've even heard people say it could be Manhunter. I'm going to give this issue an 8. Solid, way above average. Some of the better writing Bendis has done. He catches the soul of characters like Plastic Man. I'm all over the place with how Plastic Man is portrayed, and I thought in this issue he kind of played off being silly on purpose to misdirect. I like that concept with him. The Batman-Jason Todd feud, they escalated a little bit more, where Jason still fell for Batman's BS. Maleev's art, I've liked Maleev's art, especially on Daredevil, and no exception here. The B cover by Fabok was the one to pick up, in my opinion. The Maleev cover's nice, but I really like the Fabok cover. This is definitely 100% a pickup. Next, we have Black Hammer Justice League by Jeff Lemire and Michael Walsh. The issue starts out with the farm. Walkie-talkie turned the tractor into a device. We get our normal characters. Gale is drunk. Abraham Slam is cranky like normal. And suddenly there is a character walking towards the farm, carrying a briefcase. Everybody suddenly gets on edge. Madame Dragonfly realizes that's magic. And as that's going on, the Justice League are fighting Starro. Because I've always loved Starro. It's such a weird character and interesting. So as that's happening, we also have the same suitcase stranger showing up there, and they realize he's magic. Batman's like, he's not picking up on the sensors. And this character, he says he's like a travel agent, swaps them. So the Justice League end up on the farm, while the Black Hammer group end up in Metropolis. They show the Daily Bugle in the background, and Gale's like, oh, I haven't been in a superhero fight in a long time. I'm going to say this isn't the most exciting first issue for a crossover like this. Kept everything separate. I'm not sure if they're going to keep with them being just swapped to the different places. In it, the Justice League say they've been stuck on the farm for 10 years. I'm not really sure where to go with this, like, or where it's going to go. And I kind of thought this issue was a little flat. I just expected a lot more. I guess in my head, when you see it, you're like, oh, well, they're going to have that, we start as enemies, become friends thing. But that's too cliche for Lemire, I guess. What we do get is, I don't even know how to explain it at this point. It just, I wanted there to be more. I'm going to give this like a 5.5, just because I wanted a little more out of it. I'm not saying it's bad, it just, I feel like there was more opportunity in this to do a little bit more. With that, I'm going to end this episode. I really wish that there was more to talk about. I got a late start today. Didn't get a lot of the issues read. Really wasn't a lot that I wanted to talk about either. I mean, other than Naomi, which I didn't get to read yet, and the Marvel books were a little underwhelming this week. But I just want to thank you for taking the time and watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Heck, comment below. Tell me what you're reading or what I should be reading in case I'm missing it or not talking about it enough. There is a book that I've actually picked up I didn't think I'd like. I'm a little late on it. Punchline from Antarctic Press. It's actually not bad. I'm kind of surprised because if you look at the covers, you just expect to be kind of a cheesy story, and it's a little bit deeper than that. I've actually been enjoying it, so check that out if you get a chance, or if your local comic shop has it. And another recommendation, of course, like the issue 1 you're never going to get to pick up, but the trade paperback for Hench Girl. It is a fun little series. I love the characters in it, and it's super enjoyable to read. And again, now that I said I was ending it, now I'm really ending it. Thank you, take care, farewell, and hope you had a great new comic day.